All right, this is where I now turn the mic over to my co-host. We will start with you, BG. Zay, you be prepared. But now you guys are going to give us your roundtable questions for us to wrap up the show. We got a few more minutes, so we'll answer those questions, and then we'll wrap it up. So, BG, we'll start with you, our roundtable talk. Not to be mistaken for Red Table Talk by Jada Smith. No, it's not that.
God.
This is the Coach T NBA show with BG and Zay. This is our roundtable talk. BG, you have the floor.
All right, I have two questions, but I'm going to ask the one that I think is better, just in case we're running short on time here. So here's my question for both of you. If Giannis Antetokounmpo wins another Finals MVP this year, where does that put him all time? And does he have a chance in his career to be in the GOAT conversation?
Zay, I'll let you begin.
Because if he wins a Finals MVP this year, you're talking, and he is still up for, he won't win the MVP this year, but he'll be a two-time MVP. He'll be a two-time Finals MVP. And he's doing it in Milwaukee. His second best player is Chris Middleton, which when you compare that to Michael Jordan's second best players, LeBron's second best players, Kobe's second best players, they don't stack up as, Chris Middleton isn't as good as some of those other second best players. So where does that
Jay-Z
put?
said he's all right, but he's not real. Zay, how you feeling about it? I like that. It's a great question, BG.
That is, and I think Giannis definitely will be considered a better player for sure. And only because of the points he mentioned in regards to him and the quality of players that he's around. He's definitely more of a lead by example guy, and those guys definitely, he has a good group of followers with him. So, yeah. For sure.
Okay. And going back to your question, BG, you said, has he done enough, or is he on his way, on his path to possibly be in the GOAT conversation?
So it was a two-part question. It was one, if he wins Finals MVP this year, where does that put him in your all-time conversation? And then second, does he have a chance to be in the GOAT conversation, assuming the GOAT conversation is probably MJ, LeBron, and Wilt, I'm assuming for most people. Does he put himself in that conversation eventually? I'm not saying
not after this season. I understand what you're saying. Would he be on that trajectory? Yeah. I would say my answer to that would be, I'll answer the second question first. If he wins a final MVP, wins back-to-back titles, because normally you win the MVP, you have won the title. You are the king of the court, quote unquote, for the second year in a row. He would start to be on the path to being in the GOAT conversation. To answer your first question, where do I rank him? Where do I have him? If that happens, he wouldn't clearly be the GOAT at that point in time, because he would need to do a little bit more. Even though that would be very impressive, him getting his second title back to back and getting his second Finals MVP award. But he would start to crack that top 10 very easily, because you talking again back-to-back titles. Okay, I think of a person that I'm thinking off the top of my mind, Larry Bird. I think he has 3 titles. I think Magic Johnson, he has 4 or 5 titles. So he would be, in this stage in his career, 2 titles at that point in time and 2 Finals MVPs at that point in time. So to me, that will make him, and he's distinctively the best player on that squad, and he's the reason why they would be at that point. There's no question about that. So he would end up being, in my mind, a top 10 player if that ends up happening this season. And he would be well on his way, no doubt about it, well on his way to being in that GOAT conversation.
I have a follow-up. Can I ask a follow-up real quick?
Sure.
Just a yes or no question. If he wins Finals MVP this year, is his career resume better than Kevin Durant?
Zay, I'll let you answer that first.
Ooh, I would say yes, because he's had less caliber players.
I would say, I like that. I would say no. Because Kevin Durant only has 2 titles, correct? Both of those he won Final MVP, so they would be neck and neck there. And I would give Kevin Durant the edge because I just feel like Kevin Durant, even as Giannis has done a lot, to me, Kevin Durant is a better overall player. Slightly, very slightly, because Giannis can do a lot of things. But I would slightly have Kevin Durant above him as a neck and neck player. Okay. All right, good. That was really good. I like that, BG. Zay, we're gonna wrap it up with your question. What do you have for us on our Coach T NBA show with BG and Zay, our round table talk? What question do you have, sir?
Will a 1 seed win the NBA Finals?
BG.
All right, so I'm basically taking this question as this is almost a question that I was going to ask. I was going to ask the Suns or the field. So I pretty much feel like that's what this question is. I don't see the Heat winning it.
Really?
No.
My boy Oladipo had 30 tonight. He off the bench.
I got Brooklyn beating the Heat 6 games first round.
Say that again.
Brooklyn beating the Heat 6 games first round.
Wow. So that would knock them out. Okay. So what about Suns? Win the finals.
I'm going to say yes, they get it done this year. Suns. I'm going to go with the Suns.
I like the Heat, but I do not think that they will win the title this year. I guess I don't love them. I like them, but I don't love them. The Suns, I am leaning towards, even though I think this is a year where literally it's wide open. I know the Suns have a wonderful record. They've kind of set themselves apart from every other team in the NBA. I still feel like when it's playoff time, we're going to get a random team. I don't know who that team will be, but I feel like we're going to get a random team, maybe multiple teams that make the finals and then end up winning the finals. So I'm going to say that, with all that said, I guess, I'm going to say that the Suns do not get it done. The Suns nor the Heat win the NBA title. I have a 9-1 seed bringing home the crown.
Okay. Definitely, and I agree. I think to BG's point, Brooklyn definitely will make noise, and I don't think they're gonna lose to the Cat. Well, so as of the scenario at yesterday, as of the current scenario, I don't think they'll lose to the Cavs. But they will knock out Boston. So Brooklyn wins their play-in, they knock out Boston, and they get through. Now, Philly, though, if all plays out in the same scenario, I feel like Philly would knock out the Heat. That'd be the Heat's kryptonite.
And if you look at it, I like that because right now in the East, 2 through 4 have the same record. Essentially, they're all basically right there neck and neck at 50, 51 wins, and the remaining games are losses with 1 to 2 games ago. The Heat are only 3 games above number 3 and number 4, which are the Celtics and the 76ers. So that's why I feel like these teams are neck and neck. Yeah, you may be quote unquote the number 1 seed, but you're not head and shoulders, especially the Heat. You're not head and shoulders above the rest of the pack. Suns, yes, they've separated themselves, but I just, they've had the longest last 12 months in terms of the number of games they had to play. And I think that can catch up to a team like them, especially where their best player, which I love, whether it's CP3 or Devin Booker, whoever you classify as their best player, they're still not that player necessarily that can physically, that's the key word, physically dominate a series. Okay. They can win you a series. They can outscore you in a series. But you see when they came up against a Giannis, he physically dominated them. LeBron, when he won his titles, he physically dominated teams. Really, Golden State is the only team recently that did not physically dominate the other teams necessarily in their effort of winning the title. But what they did, they revolutionized the game in winning those titles. So I think that's what separated them. To me, the Suns and the Heat, they don't have a chance to really physically dominate their opponents round after round in the gauntlet that is the NBA playoffs to actually win the title. So that's why I'm going with a non-1 seed winning the title.
Yeah, and I actually spoke too soon. I'm glad they kind of cleared that up a little bit. I thought Brooklyn was in that 9-10 spot. So Brooklyn's going to end up beating Cleveland and getting the 7th seed. So Brooklyn will not play Miami. They'll play Boston in the first round. So I think Brooklyn beats Boston as well.
Yeah, speaking of that, because I'm glad you mentioned that. I know we've been long-winded, but I want to make sure I hit on this because we actually had this 2 shows ago. We talked about the play-in. We were unsure how it works, but I want to make sure we go here. This is a Yahoo Sports article right here. The star-studded Brooklyn Nets will host the Cleveland Cavs to determine who will proceed as the true number 7 seed in the East. Meanwhile, in the West, the Clippers will face the Timberwolves to find out who would take on Memphis Grizzlies in round 1. So that's kind of how it goes there. As the 7th and 8th seed, as a 7th and 8th place teams, the Cavs, the Nets were in the East, and then in the West, the Clippers and Timberwolves have the advantage of only needing to win 1 game to advance to the playoffs. The other teams, which would be the 9th and 10th seed, they got to win the 9th and 10th seed game, and then they got to end up playing and winning another game to then make the playoffs. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So the winner of 7-8 is automatically in. The loser of 7 and 8 have to then play the winner of 9 and 10 as a battle of who's going to actually win the 8th or be the 8th seed.
Yep.
Here we go. All right, that wraps it up for us, man. I said that we're going to be out at a certain time with my co-host. We're actually 9 minutes over that time. So we're going to wrap it up. BG, Zay, do you guys have anything to say to the wonderful fans out there that have been so true, so diligent, so faithful to the Coach T NBA show with BG and Zay?
The only thing I got to say is I don't know what our plans are for next weekend, but next Sunday is Easter, so wishing the viewers a happy Easter. Enjoy your family, celebrate, the Lord if that's your religion. But definitely wonderful time to be with family. Hopefully we got some good weather. I'm trying to find some Easter eggs. So,
like it, Zay.
Definitely, and piggyback off what BG said. Definitely appreciate family. Thank God for everything, and look forward to hearing feedback. I know a couple of my guys that was around this weekend listen to the show, and I'm looking forward to debating with you guys. I love it. Definitely always appreciate being on the show with BG and Zay. I mean BG and T.
Yeah, Zay love him some Zay. You sound like Terrell Owens. I love me some
I
B.
was thinking about back in football season when I've spent the whole football season being named Terrence.
Oh yeah, another inside joke there.
Yeah, but BG and T definitely. So it's a fun time, and definitely appreciate all of our listeners.
Perfect, man. Fans, I hope you like the switch up today. We definitely wanted to give you guys something a little bit different. So we always want to switch it up, keep you on your toes. And secondly, I will say, anyone that listened to the show last week or was a little unsure of what was going on, I actually screwed up last week. And this is where I could be transparent. I could be honest. I actually posted the show, and then I unposted it because I had to do a couple changes. Then I forgot to repost for like a 24-hour period. So even me, I was like, man, where is the show? I was going on Spotify. I was going on Google Podcasts. I went on Amazon. I'm like, where is the show? Why is it not posted? Then I realized I didn't repost the show. So if you guys ran into those troubles, blame Coach T. It is on me. I can take the blame for that. And then going back to our underrated or overrated segment, I gotta say, man, my co-hosts, BG and Zay, they are underrated because these guys are phenomenal. All of these questions, they had no clue with our over-under, with our too high, too low, with our this or that segments. They had no clue what the questions would be. You did a wonderful job entertaining the fans and being able to answer all those questions. So thank you guys for that. And I definitely want to clap it up for you guys. So I'm gonna outro it here. I have nothing else to say. Thank you, fans. Thank you again. Thank you for all your support. So from us to you, this is me, Coach T. Keep showing us love, and we'll keep bringing you that fun.
Turn up, turn up, turn up.
Turn up, turn up, turn up. Peace, guys. Get some rest.
That was a great show. That was a great show. I liked it. I liked that.
All right, cool. I'm glad you guys liked it. I had to switch it up, man. I didn't want to get too dry, man. I want to make sure you guys are staying on your toes as well. So we'll do something like that. I'll add I'll switch it up. I won't even say what we're gonna do next time, but I want to make sure we keep it light, we keep it fun, especially with the playoffs right around the corner. So there's a lot more we can do.
Yeah,
for sure.
Get some rest, guys. Get some rest. We got to get some games in, man. We got to find some time to get some runs in. I'm tired of being an old man.
I know. I got to start hooping with it.
Yeah.
I've been slacking.
Yeah. Let's get that going. All right, fellas. I'm about to go watch some TV with the lady.
All right. Have a good night.
Peace, fellas. You too. Yep. Great job. Great job. Great show.